Hello, this is Jan from Sankt Urban. Today we are talking with Andrew Cotton. Andrew is a surfer from Croydon in the UK, and most of you will probably know him from the videos and pictures of him riding on giant waves that have been circling through the media in the last couple of days. Hi Andrew.
Hi, how's it going, alright?
On your blog you describe yourself as a surfer who enjoys pushing his personal boundaries, and you state that your life revolves around the sea and what it has to offer. When did you start to surf?
I first started surfing. My dad actually bought me a surfboard for my birthday when it was either 8 or 9. So yeah, within that I was very quickly addicted to surfing, and that, you know, that's all I could think about really for all my sort of childhood and teens, you know.
So your father was a surfer too?
I think he did surfing as a kid, but he wasn't. No, he didn't. He never really sort of. He always took me down the beach. But I never actually went in the sea with him.
I read that you worked as a plumber and a part-time lifeguard. Is it true?
Yeah, well, I actually work as a beach lifeguard it's seasonal here in England. So my job starts in April and it finishes in September. Before that, I was a qualified plumber and I was plumbing full time. But as I started getting more into surfing and taking it seriously, I sort of took a lifestyle choice and decided, like, obviously, the plumbing was a better job, paid more money, but it wasn't really what my heart was into. So the lifeguarding is just it's there. I can stay fit, I can earn some money, and I can focus. I've got time off to focus in the winter on the surf.
Well, that's great. I read an article by someone called Ruth Stiles in the Daily Mail Online about you, where Ms. Stiles wrote that critics condemned your feed as stupid and idiotic, and, well, they called to you to show a more responsible attitude towards your family. But she also wrote that your wife Katie hit back at these critics, and that she was really proud of your achievement. Did everyone of your family and friends react so positive, like your wife, or was there also some criticism?
I think, you know, after this wave, you know, I think my family and friends have obviously been very proud of me. You know, the only criticism I've ever had from my parents was when I quit my full-time job as a plumber, and they were like, you know, what are you doing? This is crazy. You know, you've got a good job, you earn good money, and you want to like work as a lifeguard and like try like what they didn't see. My dad couldn't see the reasoning and he thought that was irresponsible. But, you know, now he sort of, you know, and he understands, and, you know, I had to do that. I had to get where I wanted to go. I couldn't be a full-time plumber, you know. I just, you know, I couldn't find the time to train and to surf and to spend time with my family. And so, like I said, it was a big choice for me.
Your children are very young, but are they interested in following the footsteps of their father?
My daughter, Honey, she's a really, really strong swimmer and she loves surfing. But I think I'm a strong believer in just giving people, you know, I give Honey opportunities, and whatever she's into, you know. You just got to support her. She's very keen in running and also gymnastics as well. And I'd like her just to be sporty, but I don't think. You know, I don't want them to become surfers. You know, I want them to just enjoy their lives. You know, so.
When you Google for surf culture, you find a lot of old cliches, like surfers are depicted as laid-back, tent guys that listen to surf music and do that shaka hand sign and all that. Yeah, you know, is there something like an uniform surf culture? How would you describe it?
I don't think there is anymore. I think, you know, there was. I think now surfing's, especially I'm talking about like the English sort of surf scene, and, you know, it's not like guys driving around in old cars with no money and long hair. You know, it's like you go down to the beach and there's guys who rock up in you know, brand new BMWs, and, you know, they work in the city, or they work from home and live by the coast. And, you know, I think life's changed a lot where you don't have to always live in the city to earn good money now, and that's opened a lot of doors. You know, I know people that live in my village who have good jobs, and, you know, jobs based in London, but they live you know, in Braunton, where I live, and earn good money in the surf, and that's not your typical stereotype surfer, you know. So yeah, it's kind of like, you know, times are changing, aren't they? And then it does take a while to shake off that sort of stereotypical image, but I think it is going slowly.
Well, that was actually my next question. A lot of people always say that things change and people get nostalgic about the past. And was there some significant change, positive or negative, in surfing as a sport since you started to surf?
I think it's become a lot more professional, and I think, you know, I feel like I'm more of an athlete than just a surfer. You know, like my trainings, and I think this will be true to all big wave surfers. You know, that like they're taking their training a lot more serious. You know, a lot more diving courses and survival courses to get more confidence and to learn more about how to deal with situations. So, you know, it is becoming a lot more professional, and that's great. That's great. It's great for people to see and show, and it shows that that as a group of people that were serious about taking surfing to the next level. You know, and that's what it is. It's all about keep pushing and getting better and understanding big waves more, and you know, like. You can just see that with the guys paddling jaws in the last 5 years. You know, like 5 years ago, it was almost unheard of, and now, you know, that's all that happens there. You know, and those guys, you know, are really pushing big wave surfing forward, and that's amazing to see.
Well, you said that surfing as a sport got more professional. Did it also get more competitive?
Not from no. Well, I don't know. You know, like, I'm not a contest surfer. I've surfed all my life, and I used to compete when I was a kid, like locally and nationally, and I never did very well. I was just not that competitive, you know. Like, I think big wave surfing is different, you know. Like, there is obviously, yeah, everyone wants to get the best wave, but then everyone watches over each other, and it's dangerous, and you know what I mean. So it's a bit like almost we've got everyone's back, and you would never want to, you know. So you know, it's kind of 50-50 really. You know, it's competitive, but at the same time, you're looking out for your fellow surfers and your fellow big wave surfers, definitely.
Normally when people think about surfing, I think most people think of Hawaii or something like that, Jack Johnson type of surfing stuff and all that. And in one of your recent blog entries you write, "This is England, no surf here, move along please." What do you think about surf culture in England?
There's a huge surf culture in England, you know, but that was like anyone, like, you know, the typical sort of, you speak to people, and I've travelled a lot when I was younger, and they're like, "Oh, you're from England? Do you guys even have surf?" Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we have great surf, you know, and you know, the whole of Europe's great for surf, but you know, when like you say, like people, the typical was like Hawaii, America, Australia, you know, they're the sort of surf nations, and we've got loads of good waves all over Europe, you know, not just England, but you know, everywhere. And it's funny how people don't, like, other than the people actually there, don't realise, you know. So yeah, England's got a really big surf culture, and a really solid one as well.
Do you have any English influences, speaking of surfers and all that?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously you have influences as you grow up, and it's always like the local influences that sort of had probably the biggest impact. And there's like couple local guys older than me that I always looked up to and wanted to be like, and they're, you know, that they make you push it when you're younger, you know. So yeah, I think that you probably have that at every beach all over the world, you know. Like you'll have a couple of local guys that are the best, or doing something different that every grom will want to aspire to, or inspire them to actually do something. So.
Yeah. Internationally speaking, do you have a favorite spot for surf? Or favorite spots?
Yeah. I've got, you know, I think there's so many good spots in the world, and you know, every place I've ever been, I've had a little moment when I thought, you know, this is amazing. But you know, in the last 5 or 6 years, I spent a lot of time in Ireland, and I love Ireland. It's where I sort of first started surfing my really big waves. So I've got a lot of time for Ireland. I'm passionate about Mullaghmore, is where I surf a lot there, and then obviously Nazaré as well. You know, I've been going down there with Garrett for the last 4 years, and you know, it's an amazing place. You never know what you're gonna get. It's testing. It's probably the best training ground that you could possibly have in Europe for big wave surfing. You know, like paddling, towing, just giant all the time. It's just big. So yeah, I think that's, you know, they're two of my favorite spots in Europe. I think Ireland and Portugal.
Speaking of training, how often do you practice, and do you do certain exercises?
Well, obviously I try and you know, every time there's a big swell in Europe, I'm I try and be on it, try and get in somewhere. And so obviously that's my practicing. I surf as much as I can at home in North Devon. Try and surf as much as possible. Obviously surf big waves whenever there are big waves. As for sort of like training, cardio sort of stuff, I cycle quite a lot. I've got a road bike and I like to cycle, and also swim and do a bit of yoga. I've got like a personal trainer that we do some like surf specific exercises, and so probably train like once or twice a day. Depends if I surf or not, really.
What were the, well, until now, greatest moments of your career as a surfer?
I don't know, I've never really, it's been a career, I don't know, it's more been like a journey. But, I've had some really good ones, and some of the best ones were when I was starting out, and I spent a lot of time in Hawaii and just traveling really, and, I think there, no pressure and no, it's amazing times in Hawaii. But the other, another highlight is probably when I caught a wave in Mullet Mall, which got nominated. Got to the finals of the XXL in 2012. So it got me quite a bit of global recognition then as well.
I read that you support the Mexican Wave fundraising initiative.
It's Mission Mexico. It's an orphanage which an Australian couple have started, and they basically take in street kids. I saw a video about it and approached them and said I'd like to help out, but it's not like you can. The only thing I can do is make people aware of it. I can't do a lot. So I've been to a couple of fundraisers here in the UK and help them out here. And what they do over in Mexico is amazing. And hopefully at some point I'll go and visit and help out. And it'd be great to go over there and spend a couple of weeks and take the kids surfing and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely a worthy cause.
In the last weeks, I heard a lot about world records and giant waves and all that. That you wrote on your blog about meeting strangers and asking yourself if you were famous now. How do you cope with that?
It's funny. It's funny, and it's kind of weird. And I'm not very good at this attention. Getting attention is quite strange. I don't really crave it, to be honest. But it's funny. Someone gave me a really good bit of advice, and actually it's Garrett's wife, Nicole, and I was getting a little bit stressed out and not really knowing how to cope with people wanting interviews and things like that. And she just said, "Look, just you got to enjoy it, have loads of fun, else you'll regret it." So, so that's the kind of thing. Just go with it, enjoy it, have fun. It's not going to last forever, so it's like, make the most of your 5 minutes, I suppose. So, I think that's a really good bit of advice. So, just enjoying it and rolling with it, having fun.
What are your next goals? Speaking of surf,
my goal is to continue surfing big waves, keep having fun. I think that's the next, a really important thing is to keep having fun, and I really enjoy surfing big waves, and that's why I've kept at it, And I think the second you stop having fun, then it's not really I might as well be plumbing, And then also it's like I'd like to do it, try and do it like full time, Be a proper pro and spend more time surfing big waves like around the world, and not just in the European winter for 3 months. I like to do it to chase swells all year round.
What do you like to do besides surfing? Do you have any hobbies?
Well, I suppose my fitness is my hobbies, like my swimming and my cycling and things like that. My children take obviously up a lot of time, and I love hanging out with my kids on the beach and getting up early and going for a walk on the beach and things like that. So yeah, but no real hobbies. My wife's a musician, so sometimes I'll get to some of her gigs and things like that, and it's quite good. But yeah, no, nothing else really. I'm not very good at I don't like football.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not very good. Don't like football. I'm not very good at cricket. Don't like rugby. I'm not really like a ball sports sort of guy. So just keeping fit and training and surfing.
What would be your piece of advice to a kid that wants to be a surfer?
Get prepared to spend a lot of time in the sea. Surfing's. It's great, go for it. Don't neglect your education and have backup plans. Like if you want to be a pro surfer, you got to go for it. But you've always got to have a backup plan. So education, trades, and I think I'm 34, and I'm still not full-time pro, but I'm you know, still going for it. You know, it doesn't, you know, you don't have to be, you know, full-time pro at 18 or whatever. You know, you just got to keep going at it and never give up.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We wish you a lot of success and good luck.
Okay, yeah, no, thanks very much for having me, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon.